Amara's eyes opened slowly, and the first thing she noticed was the soft, blue light bathing the room. It wasn't the sunlight she expected. It felt artificial, smooth, almost alive. Her body ached as if she had slept for years, but her mind raced faster than ever. She blinked several times, trying to make sense of her surroundings. The room was strange. Sleek white walls curved seamlessly into the ceiling. A soft hum echoed from hidden sources. A large window stretched across one side, showing a cityscape that looked futuristic, towers that shimmered with metallic light, flying vehicles zooming silently, and what seemed like floating gardens above the streets. Her heart skipped a beat. Where was she? And why did none of this look familiar? Then she noticed him. A man was sitting on a chair beside the bed. He looked calm, almost too calm for the situation. He had dark hair, neatly combed, and eyes that seemed to study her every movement with gentle curiosity. He wore clothes that were simple but not quite modern, more like something out of a science fiction film than real life. Amara's voice came out shaky. Who are you?" The man smiled slightly. "I'm your future husband." Her eyes widened in disbelief. "Excuse me? Did you just say?" "I said what I said," he replied, his voice calm and confident. "I am your future husband." Amara sat up abruptly, the sheets slipping from her shoulders. "That's impossible. I don't even know you." "I know," he said, standing up and taking a few careful steps closer. "And I don't expect you to believe me right away. But it's true. I'm from your future. 30 years from now. To be exact." Amara's mind felt like it was spinning. 30 years from now? This is a joke, right? Some kind of prank? He shook his head. "I wish it were a joke. I wouldn't have come here if it were. But the situation is urgent. You need to understand what's happening before we run out of time." Amara tried to stand, but her legs trembled. She gripped the bed for support. "You're saying you're from the future? That I'm married to you in the future?" "Yes," he said simply. "And I came back to make sure it happens the way it should." Amara's stomach twisted. The idea was absurd, impossible even. But when she looked around the room again, she noticed tiny details she couldn't ignore. A small photograph on the bedside table showing a younger version of herself, smiling beside the man sitting before her. The photo had no date, but the resemblance was undeniable. You knew me?" she whispered, touching the photo. "I did. And I know how hard this is to accept. But everything I'm saying is true." He took a step closer, careful not to intimidate her. "I came here to protect you and to guide you. Something is coming, something that could change everything. You and we're the only ones who can stop it." Amara shook her head. "Stop what? What are you talking about?" KL, she noticed that was his name, gestured to the window. Outside, the city looked alive. But there was an unusual tension in the air. This city, this world, you know it. You love it. But in my time, humans have spread across the stars, faced challenges that no one today could imagine. And there's a threat that comes from beyond the stars. It's approaching, and it will reach Earth soon if we don't act. Amara's mind was racing. Space? Threats? Future husband? None of it made sense. Yet, there was something in Kale's eyes, a steady confidence that made it difficult to dismiss him entirely. I don't know if I can believe any of this," she said finally, her voice softer. "It's too much. I don't expect you to," he admitted. "But I will show you." Kale reached for a small device on his wrist. It was sleek and glowed faintly. He tapped it twice, and a small holographic screen appeared in the air between them. The images shimmered and moved like living pictures: stars, planets, massive ships, and humans wearing strange suits exploring distant worlds. Amara's mouth went dry. She had seen science fiction movies, read books, dreamed about space. But seeing it like this, so vivid and real, made her question everything she knew. Where is this?" she asked. Your future, Kale said simply. This is what humanity becomes. But it won't happen unless we make the right choices now. And your choices, our choices, matter more than you can imagine. Amara took a step back, feeling overwhelmed. I'm just me. I don't have any special abilities. I'm not a hero. I'm not even sure I want this future you're talking about. You already have what matters, Kale said, his voice softening. You have a mind that thinks, a heart that cares, and the courage to do what's right. That's more than enough. The room was silent for a moment, except for the hum of hidden machines. Amara's thoughts raced. Everything felt unreal, but at the same time, some part of her wanted to believe him. Maybe it was curiosity, maybe it was fear, but she couldn't shake the feeling that she was standing on the edge of something much bigger than herself. Kale knelt down, putting himself at her level, trying to make her feel safe. I know this is terrifying. I know it feels like I'm asking too much. But we don't have time to wait. Something is coming, and we need to be ready. Amara's eyes filled with tears, not just fear, but confusion, awe, and a strange flicker of hope. I don't even know where to start. Start with this, Kale said, holding out his hand. Trust me enough to listen. That's all I'm asking. If you do that, I promise everything will make sense in time. Amara hesitated, staring at his hand. Her mind screamed no. Screamed that she couldn't possibly do this. That it was impossible. Yet, something inside told her that saying yes, even a small yes, was the only way forward. Slowly, trembling, she placed her hand in his. The moment their hands touched, a warmth spread through her. Not like fire, but like sunlight through the clouds. The holographic images shimmered brighter, and the city outside seemed to pulse with life. She could almost hear it, a call to adventure, a whisper that her life was about to change forever. Good, Kale said, smiling faintly. That's all I need for now. Tomorrow, I'll show you more. But tonight, rest. You'll need your strength. Amara nodded, still holding onto his hand for a few moments before letting go. She lay back down, staring at the ceiling, her mind spinning with questions, fears, and an unexpected spark of excitement. Maybe he was crazy. Maybe this was impossible. But deep down, she couldn't shake the feeling that he was telling the truth, and maybe, just maybe, her life was about to become something extraordinary. Outside the window, the city lights shimmered like stars, and somewhere far beyond, the first hints of a distant threat were moving silently through space. Amara closed her eyes, trying to rest, but sleep didn't come easily. Her dreams were filled with strange images of stars, ships, and a man who claimed to be her future. When she finally drifted into slumber, it was with a single thought repeating in her mind. What if he's right? Amara woke the next morning to the soft hum of the room's lights. The sun, or what looked like it was a pale blue orb in the sky, filtering through the wide window. For a moment, she forgot where she was. Then the memory hit her all at once. The man, the city, the words that had shaken her world. Kale was already there, standing near the window, arms crossed, watching the city below. When he saw her stir, he turned, offering a calm smile. Good morning, he said. I hope you slept well. Amara sat up slowly, still unsure if she could trust him. I guess. But I have a lot of questions. And I need real answers this time. Kale nodded. I understand, and I promise, you'll get them. But first, breakfast. You need energy. Amara raised an eyebrow. Breakfast? Are you serious? I feel like I just woke up in someone else's life. I know, he admitted with a small chuckle. But your body doesn't understand time the way your mind does. Eat something, then we talk. Reluctantly, Amara followed him to a small kitchen area. A few moments later, a tray appeared with steaming food. Kale explained that the room's AI had prepared it. Amara couldn't help but notice how advanced everything was. Machines moved with purpose, light shifted to match moods, and even the air felt different, cleaner somehow. Once they sat, Kyle began. You want answers? I'll start from the beginning. Amara took a deep breath. Please, just tell me everything. Kale nodded, speaking slowly so she could follow. 30 years from now, humanity has changed a lot. We've colonized planets beyond the solar system. We've built cities that float in the clouds, ships that can cross light years in months, and technology that can manipulate energy in ways you can hardly imagine. But with progress comes danger. Some beings, from far beyond our galaxy, have noticed our growth. They see us as a threat, or as prey, and they are coming. Amara stared at him. Aliens? You're saying aliens are going to attack Earth? Yes, Kale said simply, and not just any aliens. They are highly intelligent, highly advanced, and very patient. They've been watching humanity for centuries. Most of them underestimate us, thinking we are primitive. But they're wrong. Very wrong. Amara's stomach turned. Why are you telling me this? Why me? I'm just me. Kale reached out and placed a hand gently on hers. Because your decisions, your actions, even small choices you make, can change everything. And more than that, we are connected. You and I, in the future, are partners in the work that keeps humanity safe. That's why I'm here. Why? Amara pulled her hand back, overwhelmed. I don't understand. How can I be part of this? I'm not a soldier. I'm not anything special. Kale shook his head. You are special. Not because of powers or strength, but because of your mind, your ability to think, to reason, to care for others. Those are qualities that no machine, no alien, no future tech can replace. That's what makes humans so strong. She looked away, feeling both pride and doubt. I don't even know if I can do this. You can, Kale said firmly, and you will. I'll help you. I promise. But first, you need to understand what's at stake. He tapped the device on his wrist again. A holographic map appeared in midair. It showed the Earth, other planets, and strange glowing paths that moved across space. These are the paths of the alien fleets. They are coming in waves, carefully planned, and they've been testing us for years. Most humans wouldn't even notice. But if we don't act, millions will die. Amara felt a chill run down her spine. Millions? That's impossible. How can anyone stop that? Kale's eyes were steady. By being human. By thinking, adapting, and never giving up. The aliens have technology. Yes, but they underestimate the value of curiosity, courage, and teamwork. And that's where we come in. Amara sat silently for a moment, trying to absorb everything. So, you came back in time to make sure we do what needs to be done. Yes, he said softly. I came back to guide you, to prepare you, and to protect you. But this isn't about me. It's about humanity. It's about giving our species a chance to survive. She nodded slowly, still confused but beginning to see a larger picture. Okay, I'll listen. But I have one question. How do you know all this? How do you know it will happen? Kale smiled faintly. Because I lived it. I've seen the futures, tested possibilities, and experienced the outcomes. Not all of them are good, but I've learned from them. That's why I can guide you now. Amara couldn't help but shiver. That sounds amazing, terrifying, and I don't know if I can trust it. You don't have to trust it completely, Kale said. Just enough to start. That's all I need. For the next hour, Kale showed her more holographic projections. Battles in space, humans and aliens negotiating. Ships racing through asteroid fields. Amara realized how fragile and precious their world was, and how much depended on human choices, courage, and intelligence. At one point, Kyle paused. There's something else. The future isn't set in stone. It's shaped by every action we take. Every decision matters. That's why you waking up here, now, is so important. We have a chance to make a difference together. Amara swallowed hard. So, what happens next? Kale gestured toward a small door that she hadn't noticed before. Next, you learn. I'll take you to a place where you can see humanity's potential. You'll see the tools, the technology, and the people who shape the future. And most importantly, you'll start to understand your role in it. Amara hesitated, fear and curiosity battling inside her. And what if I fail? You won't, Kale said firmly. Because you're human, and humans always find a way. Finally, she nodded, a mixture of determination and fear in her eyes. Okay, I'll go with you. But if anything feels wrong, I'm walking away. Kale smiled, a warm, reassuring smile. Fair enough. But I don't think you'll want to walk away once you see what's possible. They walked together through the curved, glowing corridors of the building. The walls shifted color slightly as they passed, responding to their movements. The air smelled faintly of ozone and metal, crisp and clean. Amara felt like she had stepped into another world, one that was both exciting and dangerous. They reached a large room filled with consoles, screens, and machines she couldn't even begin to name. Holograms of stars, planets, and human settlements floated in the air, rotating slowly. Kale moved to one console and waved his hand. The images zoomed in on a planet that looked like Earth. Cities shimmered, people moved through streets, and vehicles flew in silent arcs. This, Kale said, is a simulation of Earth in the future. This is what we are protecting. And this is where you start learning. Amara felt awe, fear, and a strange excitement all at once. She had never imagined that her life could be this enormous, that she could play a part in something so important. Kale looked at her and smiled. I know it's a lot to take in, but remember, every great journey begins with a single step. And this is your first step. Amara took a deep breath. The room pulsed with light and energy around her. She didn't know if she could do what Kale expected, but for the first time, she felt the tiniest spark of hope. Maybe, just maybe, she could make a difference. And maybe, just maybe, the man claiming to be her future husband wasn't lying. Amara followed Kale through the glowing corridors, her mind still buzzing with everything he had told her. She felt a mixture of fear and excitement. She had never imagined that her life could involve aliens, time travel, and a future she couldn't yet understand. Yet here she was, stepping into the unknown with a man who claimed to be her future husband. They arrived at a massive chamber. The room was circular, with walls made of a smooth, silver material that reflected light, like water. In the center was a large platform, glowing with faint blue lines that formed intricate patterns. Hovering above the platform was a device shaped like a ring, spinning slowly and pulsing with energy. This is the temporal hub, Kale explained. It allows us to move across time safely, not too far into the past, not too far into the future, just enough to prepare, to learn, and to protect our timeline. Amara's eyes widened. You're saying we can travel through time? Like, actually move through time? Yes, Kale said. And I need you to understand something important. Time is fragile. One wrong step, one careless action, and things could go very badly. That's why you need to pay attention. Stay calm, and trust me. Amara nodded, though her heart raced. She had read about time travel in books, seen it in movies, but standing here, in this strange room, it felt real. Too real. Kale gestured toward the platform. Step on this first. The hub will scan your vital signs, your neural activity, and your compatibility with the temporal matrix. It will ensure your journey is safe. Amara stepped cautiously onto the platform. The moment her feet touched the glowing lines, she felt a gentle vibration running through her body. The air seemed to shimmer, and her senses heightened. She could hear the faint hum of the ring above, feel the energy flowing through the room. Relax, Kale said softly. Focus on your breathing. Don't fight the process. Let it guide you. Amara closed her eyes, inhaling deeply. Slowly, the vibration turned into a gentle wave, washing over her like water. She opened her eyes to see the platform glowing brighter, the ring above spinning faster, and the room around her blurring. Suddenly, the city outside the window disappeared. She was no longer in her time. The colors shifted. The light changed, and she felt herself moving through a tunnel of shimmering energy. Welcome to the temporal journey, Kale said, holding her hand. It will feel strange at first. Your mind might try to resist, but trust it. Trust yourself. The sensation was unlike anything Amara had ever felt. It was weightless, yet heavy. Fast, yet slow. She saw glimpses of other times, strange landscapes, cities that didn't exist, people she didn't know. But everything was fleeting. Like shadows, she clung to Kale's hand, finding comfort in his steady presence. After what felt like both seconds and hours, the motion stopped. Amara opened her eyes to see a place that seemed familiar, and yet different. The air was crisp, and the sun shone brightly in a sky that seemed sharper, clearer than any she had seen. In the distance, she could see a city, similar to her own, but larger, more advanced. Flying vehicles zipped between the towers, and people moved with purpose along wide, clean streets. This is your future, Kale said. A version of it anyway. One that we can influence. Look around. See what humans are capable of when they work together. When they push their limits. Amara's eyes widened. It's beautiful. And overwhelming. How do people live like this? They live by curiosity, by courage, by cooperation, Kale explained. They face challenges every day, and they find solutions. That's what makes humanity strong. That's what makes humans worth protecting. As they walked toward the city, Kale explained more about the threat. The aliens I told you about, they've been observing humans for centuries. They see our ingenuity, our adaptability, and they fear it. But they are patient. They test, they probe, they study, and now, they are ready to strike. Amara shivered. And we're supposed to stop them? Yes, Kale said. But first, you need to see how humans respond to challenges. You need to understand that even with advanced technology, it's our human qualities, thinking, improvising, caring, that make the difference. They arrived at a training area, a large dome filled with holographic simulations. Aliens, spaceships, planets, all projected in vivid detail. Kale guided her through exercises designed to test her intuition, her decision-making, and her courage. Amara hesitated at first, unsure of her abilities, but each simulation showed her something new about herself. She learned to analyze situations quickly, to improvise, to communicate with others in high-pressure moments. She realized that she wasn't powerless. She could think, act, and lead. At one point, a simulation projected a scenario in which an alien ship attacked a human settlement. Amara was tasked with directing the defense. Her hands moved over a holographic console, issuing commands, reallocating resources, and coordinating the response. She felt a surge of adrenaline, but also clarity. Every decision mattered, and she could see the results immediately. Kale watched her silently, a mixture of pride and admiration in his eyes. You're learning faster than I expected, he said. Amara flushed, surprised by his compliment. I didn't know I could do this. No, you can, Kale said. Humans have always been capable of more than they realize. That's why we survived as a species. Why we explore. Why we innovate. You are living proof of that. The day passed in a blur of exercises and simulations. Amara grew stronger, more confident, and more aware of the potential within her. She realized that the future Kale had shown her wasn't just about technology or strategy, it was about humanity itself. The courage to act, the creativity to solve problems, and the empathy to care for others were what truly made a difference. As evening fell, KL led her to a balcony overlooking the city. The lights shimmered like stars, reflecting off the sleek towers and floating gardens. Amara felt a sense of awe she couldn't describe. You see, KL said softly, all of this exists because humans dared to imagine it, to work for it, to protect it. And you are part of that story now. Your choices, your courage, your mind, they matter. Amara turned to him, feeling a strange mix of gratitude and fear. It's a lot to take in. I still feel scared. But I also feel like I can do it. Maybe not alone, but with you. KL smiled, reaching for her hand. You're never alone. And you'll never be alone. We face this together. For the first time since waking in that strange room, Amara felt a sense of purpose. She wasn't just a bystander in a future she couldn't understand. She was part of it. She had a role, a reason, and a path to follow. That night, as she lay down to sleep in the temporal hub, Amara's mind was filled with images of stars, cities, and people she would protect. She realized that the journey ahead would be challenging, that fear would always be a part of it, but she also knew that courage, intelligence, and humanity could overcome almost anything. And somewhere deep inside, she felt the smallest spark of excitement. The future was uncertain, dangerous, and vast, but it was hers to shape. And she was ready to take the first real step. Outside, the city pulsed with life. Unaware of the threats that loomed in the distance, and beyond the stars, the alien forces watched silently, unaware of the resilience and ingenuity that humanity and Amara would bring to face them. The journey through time had begun. The day began with a sharp alarm echoing through the temporal hub. Amara awoke to see red lights flashing, casting the room in an urgent, tense glow. KL was already at the console, his expression focused and serious. Amara, he said without looking back, we have a situation. One of the alien fleets is approaching a human settlement on a nearby planet. We need to act now. Amara's heart pounded. Already? But I've only just started learning. Learning is not enough. Action is what matters, KL said firmly. You've trained? Yes. But now it's time to apply what you've learned. Are you ready? Amara took a deep breath, steeling herself. I'll try. I can do this, KL nodded. Good. Step onto the platform. The hub will transport us to the planet. Once there, we'll coordinate the defense. The temporal hub shimmered and hummed as they entered. Amara felt the familiar wave of energy wash over her, pulling her through time and space. Moments later, she found herself standing on a planet's surface. The ground beneath her feet was rocky but firm, with strange, glimmering plants swaying in a gentle breeze. Above, alien ships hovered in the sky, their sleek, dark shapes casting shadows across the settlement below. Amara's eyes widened. They're real. This is really happening. KL placed a hand on her shoulder. Yes. But remember, fear is natural. Courage is acting despite it. Focus on what you know. Think, observe, and act. That's how humans survive. They moved quickly to a command center near the settlement. The building was filled with holographic maps and human soldiers coordinating their defenses. KL handed Amara a console. You direct the defensive measures. Don't worry about the technology, you know how it works. Amara's fingers hovered over the controls. She had never felt more responsible in her life. She could see alien ships moving in formation, firing energy beams toward the city. The humans on the ground were prepared, but they were outnumbered. Every decision she made would affect lives. Remember, KL said, use your mind, not just the machines. Humans survive because we think, adapt, and innovate. Amara nodded. Taking a deep breath, she began issuing commands. She redirected shields to protect key areas, rerouted power to energy weapons, and coordinated evacuation routes for civilians. Each decision required quick thinking and intuition. She noticed patterns in the alien attack formations and adjusted the defenses accordingly. For a moment, everything seemed to go wrong. One of the alien ships broke through the shield, firing directly at the center of the settlement. Amara froze for a second, but then remembered Kale's words. She scanned the holographic map, spotted a weak point in the alien formation, and redirected a defensive drone squad to intercept the ship. The drone squad moved with precision, neutralizing the threat before it could cause major damage. Kale watched, impressed. "You're doing well. Keep going." Amara's confidence grew with each action. She realized that while the aliens were powerful, they underestimated human creativity and adaptability. Humans could improvise, think outside the box, and turn the tide when the odds seemed impossible. Every choice she made had an impact, and she began to feel the power of her own mind in ways she never had before. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. The alien fleet continued its assault, and Amara continued to direct the defense. She noticed patterns in the enemy's behavior, predicting their movements and adjusting defenses in real time. Human ingenuity was shining through, even against a technologically superior force. At one point, a smaller alien ship broke formation and targeted civilians hiding near the settlement's edge. Amara's heart leapt, but she didn't panic. She quickly deployed a shield to protect the civilians and guided drones to distract the alien ship. The operation succeeded. Civilians were safe, and the alien was forced back into the main fleet. Kale approached her, a proud smile on his face. "You see? This is why humans survive. Not because we have the strongest weapons, but because we think, we adapt, and we care. You've proven that today." Amara breathed heavily, realizing she had never felt such a mix of fear, adrenaline, and triumph. I didn't know I could do this. I just kept thinking about what needed to happen next. "That's the human way," Kale said. "Focus on what matters. Act. And adapt. You're learning faster than I expected. And more importantly, you're seeing the power of your own mind." The alien fleet eventually retreated, and the settlement was saved. Amara and Kale walked among the humans, who were celebrating their survival. Soldiers and civilians alike looked at Amara with gratitude and admiration. Though she felt undeserving, Kale squeezed her shoulder. "Look around. These people survived because you acted. Because humans act. You see now why humanity is worth protecting." Amara nodded, her eyes shining. "I see. I really see it now. Humans can do amazing things, and I want to help protect that." Kale smiled warmly. "And you will. There's still much to do, but you're ready for it. Today was your first real test, and you passed." As they returned to the temporal hub, Amara reflected on everything she had experienced. She had faced fear, made difficult decisions, and realized the strength within herself. She understood now that human ingenuity, courage, and empathy were not just abstract ideas, they were real, tangible forces that could shape the world and even the future. Back in the hub, Kale guided her through the debriefing. "Remember what you've learned today. Fear is natural. Mistakes happen. But thinking, adapting, and caring are what make humans strong. And you've shown all three." Amara smiled faintly, feeling a sense of pride she had never known. "Thank you for believing in me, for showing me this." "You don't need thanks," Kale said softly. "I knew you could do it. You just needed to see it yourself." Later, as night fell, Amara stood at the balcony of the hub once more. The city below shimmered in the soft glow of artificial lights. She thought about the aliens, the battles, and the humans she had helped protect. She realized that even in a world filled with advanced technology and threats from beyond the stars, it was human courage, creativity, and compassion that truly mattered. Kale joined her, standing quietly beside her. "You're ready for the challenges ahead," he said. "But remember, the path won't always be clear, and the future isn't set. What matters is what we do with the choices we have. Amara nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility but also the spark of determination. I understand. And I want to keep learning, keep fighting. For humanity. For the future. Kale looked at her, pride shining in his eyes. And you will. Together, we will face whatever comes. Humanity has survived this long because of people like you. And it will continue to survive because we never give up. That night, as Amara lay down to sleep, she reflected on the events of the day. She had faced fear, learned to trust herself, and realized the true power of humanity. She knew the coming challenges would be greater, the threats more dangerous, and the decisions even more difficult. But she also knew she was not alone. She had Kale, her mind, her courage, and the strength of humanity behind her. And somewhere in the vast reaches of space, the alien fleets were regrouping, unaware that their greatest threat was not technology or weapons, but the courage, ingenuity, and resilience of humans and the young woman who had just discovered her own potential. The test of humanity had begun. The sun, or what passed for it on this distant planet, rose slowly, casting golden light across the settlement. Amara stood beside Kale on a high observation tower, overlooking the city they had defended. The streets below were alive with people rebuilding, repairing, and celebrating their survival. She felt a sense of pride, but also an unshakable tension. The alien threat was not gone. Far beyond the stars, their fleets were regrouping, and soon, they would return. Kale turned to her, his eyes calm but intense. This is it, Amara. The final challenge. What we do now will determine not just this planet's fate, but the future of humanity. Amara nodded. Her hands gripped the railing tightly, but inside, she felt a new strength. She had faced fear, learned to trust herself, and discovered the power of human courage. She could do this. She had to. The temporal hub hummed beneath them as they prepared for the next mission. The hub allowed them to move across time, positioning humanity strategically against the alien forces. Kale guided her through the console, showing her simulations of the incoming fleets. These are not ordinary ships, he said. They are intelligent, adaptive, but they underestimate the human mind. Amara studied the holograms. Her heart raced, but she focused on the patterns, the weaknesses, and the opportunities. She realized that their advantage was not raw power, but creativity, adaptability, and teamwork. The aliens could calculate, but humans could imagine, improvise, and care. That was their true strength. They deployed to the edge of the alien fleet. Thousands of ships hovered in formation, their dark silhouettes cutting through the void. The humans' ships were smaller, fewer in number. But every decision mattered. Every choice Amara made could change the outcome. The battle began with a sudden flash of light. Alien ships fired energy beams, and the human fleet responded with shields and counterattacks. Amara's hands moved over the console, directing maneuvers, redirecting power, and coordinating squads. She noticed patterns in the enemy's movements and predicted their attacks. Kale watched silently, a proud smile on his face. You've come far, Amara. Trust yourself. Humanity trusts you. Amara's mind raced. She deployed drones to intercept incoming fire, rerouted shields to protect vulnerable ships, and guided smaller squads to flank alien positions. Each move required focus, intuition, and courage. She felt the energy of the battle, the lives depending on her decisions, and the thrill of seeing humans adapt faster than the aliens expected. A critical moment arrived when a massive alien ship broke formation, targeting the central human command station. Amara froze for a fraction of a second, but then she remembered everything she had learned. Observation, creativity, courage. She devised a plan, directing a small strike team to lure the ship into an ambush while reinforcing the station's shields. The maneuver succeeded. The alien ship was neutralized, and the command station remained intact. The battle raged for hours, but gradually, the alien fleet began to retreat. Amara realized that humans, despite being outnumbered and outgunned, had won not because of weapons, but because of thought, teamwork, and perseverance. When the last alien ship vanished into the distance, Amara slumped against the console, exhausted but exhilarated. Kale joined her, his expression softening. "You did it," he said. "You led humans through the impossible. And you proved that our strength lies in our minds and hearts, not just our machines." Amara smiled, feeling a warmth she had never known. I did it? We did it?" Kale nodded. "Yes. Together. And humanity lives to fight another day because of courage, intelligence, and compassion. That's what makes us strong. That's what makes us human." Later, as the battle ended and humans began to rebuild, Amara and Kale returned to the temporal hub. They watched holographic projections of the planets and settlements they had helped protect. Humanity had survived, adapted, and thrived. Amara realized that the journey had been more than just fighting aliens. It had been a journey of self-discovery, trust, and understanding the true power of humanity. Kale turned to her, his eyes gentle. "Amara, all of this, everything we've faced, it's because of us, because of your courage, your intelligence, and your heart. The future is not set. It's shaped by people like you, and by us." Amara felt a lump in her throat. She looked around at the hub, the stars beyond, and the simulations of humanity thriving across space. "I understand now," she said softly. "It's not just about fighting or surviving. It's about being human, using our minds, our hearts, our courage." Kale smiled, reaching for her hand. "Exactly. And together, we can shape the future. Side by side, through every challenge, every battle, every choice." For the first time since waking in that strange room, Amara felt at peace. She realized that the man standing beside her, the one claiming to be her future husband, had been right. Together, they were stronger. Together, they could face anything. The stars outside shimmered like diamonds, a reminder of the vast universe waiting for humanity to explore, protect, and thrive. Amara felt hope bloom within her, a hope that no alien force, no challenge, could ever extinguish. Kale squeezed her hand gently. "Amara, I know this journey has been strange, terrifying, and overwhelming, but you've proven yourself. And now, we can look forward to what comes next. Together." Amara nodded, her heart full. "Together," she echoed. As they stood side by side, looking out at the future they had fought to protect, Amara realized something profound. Humanity's true strength was not just in technology, ships, or weapons. It was in human ingenuity, courage, empathy, and the willingness to act even when the odds seemed impossible. And that strength, she understood, would carry them through every challenge to come. The future was bright, uncertain, and vast, but it was theirs to shape, and Amara was ready. As night fell across the temporal hub, she felt a calm certainty. She had faced fear, discovered her strength, and embraced the responsibility of shaping the future. Humanity had survived, thrived, and proven its worth, and she had found her place in it not just as a fighter, but as a thinker, a leader, and, perhaps most unexpectedly, as someone who would share a life, a mission, and a bond with Kale. In the quiet moments that followed, Amara reflected on everything she had learned. Fear was natural, but courage mattered more. Mistakes could happen, but adaptation and creativity could save lives. And no matter how advanced technology became, human qualities, empathy, ingenuity, and courage remained humanity's greatest weapons. Kale placed a hand on her shoulder, and she looked up at him. "You've changed," he said softly. "Not just the future, but yourself. You've become the person you were always meant to be." Amara smiled, feeling warmth spread through her. "And I couldn't have done it alone," she replied. "Thank you. For trusting me. For showing me And for being here, Kale smiled back. Always. We face the future together, Amara. Side by side, no matter what comes. The stars outside twinkled, a reminder of the infinite possibilities ahead. And for the first time in her life, Amara felt truly ready not just for the challenges of the future, but for everything life might bring. With Kale at her side, the battle was over. Humanity had survived, and the journey of courage, ingenuity, and love had only just begun. Together, they stepped forward into the future, ready to face it, shape it, and protect it.